Oh, man. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. Hello, everybody. This is Uncle Dylan here. Never said my really old intro. My apologies. This is Uncle Dylan here, God of Chaos. Today, we are doing a what if that we particularly haven't done in a while. And this one is, what if Naruto was a waterbender? Yeah, you heard me right. Now, for those who don't know what a waterbender is, lucky for you, YouTube is having a thing. Now, people have actually asked me, what do I do on YouTube? Well, I just listen to music. Like, mostly nerd out, or opera, that type of stuff. I wonder how many people are probably going to be thinking, wait, this guy listens to opera? I never expected him to be an opera type of person. And I always thought he'd be I thought he would always be like a hardcore or rocker. Alright. Waterbender. Waterbending light. Legend of Korra. No. Lore. I hope I'm spelling that right. Yep, lore. I just need the lore of the origins of the waterbenders. Now, in case you're wondering, who's a good guy? The Untitled. I can't fucking say that word. Or that's a fucking mouthful. So yeah, here you guys. Where is it? Ah, here we go. Have fun. No ads.
The history of waterbending.
Oh, shout out to the Amazing. I hope I'm saying that right because that's gonna be a bitch. All right, have fun.
Waterbending, one of the 4 elemental bending arts, is the hydrokinetic ability to control water in all of its various forms. This type of bending is used by the people of the Water Tribe, who are divided into the southern, northern, and lesser-known Foggy Swamp tribes, as well as those of the United Republic, each with their own unique bending style. Water is the element of change, the moon is the source of power in waterbending, and the original waterbenders learned to bend by observing how the moon pushed and pulled the tides. The Water Tribes are the only people who did not learn to bend from an animal, though the moon and ocean spirits took the form of koi fish in the mortal world near the beginning of the Avatar world. The fighting style of waterbending is mostly fluid and graceful, acting in concert with the environment. Foggy Swamp style waterbending, however, is more rigid and straight. Waterbenders deal with the flow of energy. They let their defense become their offense, turning their opponent's own forces against them. Even when waterbenders do take an attack stance, their moves always appear to flow from one to the other. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the history of waterbending. Before we begin, we publish new content every week, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. During the era of Rava, the power of water was first granted by the water lion turtle, who had temporarily provided as protection to those venturing into the spirit wilds. However, after the lion turtles renounced their roles as protectors of mankind during the era of the Avatar, the turtles refused to give people their power anymore. The descendants of the people living atop the water lion turtle eventually learned to waterbend by observing how the moon pushed and pulled the tides of the ocean. They learned how to simulate the effect themselves. As such, they have a strong spiritual connection to the moon and its counterpart, the ocean. In fact, waterbending is the only bending art to originate from spirits instead of animals, and additionally, any adverse effect on these spirits detrimentally affects waterbenders. Fighting style. Waterbending's strength is its great versatility. Rather than supporting a separate set of offensive methods, waterbending employs defensive techniques that can be transformed into attacks and counters, defense into offense. Instead of simply deflecting an attack, waterbending's defensive maneuvers focus on control, achieved through turning an opponent's own strength against them rather than directly harming the opponent. There are 4 waterbending styles known to exist in the Avatar universe, namely, the Northern style, Southern style, Foggy Swamp style, and Pro-bending style. Due to the circumstances of the 100-Year War, the Southern style was nearly extinct, with only Hama left as the Southern Water Tribe waterbending master during Avatar Aang's time to be fully trained in waterbending. However, Hama passed on all her knowledge to Katara before they became enemies. As the Foggy Swamp tribe is an offshoot of the Southern Water tribe, Foggy Swamp style may have first developed from the Southern style, but throughout the intervening generations it has evolved into its own distinct style. Northern and Southern style. The Northern Water tribe developed the first style of waterbending for use in their home at the North Pole. When the Southern Water tribe formed in the South Pole, they developed a slightly different style that is nonetheless similar to the Northern style. The traditional waterbending styles of Northern and Southern water tribes focus on graceful, fluid movements for their attacks. These styles frequently make use of switching the state of water from liquid to ice and snow. It is with this technique that the waterbenders built their large polar cities. The Northern waterbending style seems to traditionally perform more defensive, strategic, and architectural techniques in waterbending, while the Southern waterbending style seems to be more aggressive and offensive than the Northern style. Foggy Swamp style. Foggy Swamp style is the waterbending style used by the Foggy Swamp tribe of the Earth Kingdom. Instead of the fluid, graceful movements of the other two waterbending styles, they keep a rigid and straight stance, possibly reflecting the usually stagnant nature of water in their swamp homelands, and use stiff and circular arm movements to move water like a propeller. This style seems to be effective in moving the tribe's boats. They do not appear to use ice or snow attacks as often as their polar cousins, possibly due to the lack of ice in their environment. However, an exception was seen during the Day of Black Sun, when one member used ice to patch a hole in one of its submarines. One of the swamp's tribesmen, who was able to develop plant bending. It is unlikely that other polar waterbenders were aware of this technique, though Hama did not express surprise when learning of it, preferring to remove the water from plants rather than manipulating the plant. The battle capabilities of this style seem to be accurate, since Thro, Due, and the other swamp waterbenders use this style in battle, making noticeable foot movements in addition to moving their arms in the desired direction to shield themselves from harm before stepping and performing an elegant punching motion to attack. Pro-bending style. After 70 years, the art of waterbending changed greatly. The benders began to adapt and develop new techniques. One particular change was the development of pro-bending. Because of the hindering rules of the game, waterbenders' styles adapted to match. For instance, waterbenders are restricted from using continuous streams of water. To compensate, they have modernized waterbending to mainly include short blasts and blocks. One noticeable change in the art is a more frequent use of the lower body in bending. Originally, the lower body was not significantly used in waterbending. However, pro-bending has enabled some waterbenders, such as Avatar Korra, to use high-arching kicks to direct streams of water. Another new technique of waterbending is that it also has somewhat moved away from traditional grace and more into the quickness of the attack. Reminiscent of firebending, the waterbenders often use sharp, quick, boxer-like punches when bending, allowing the players to stay light on their feet and able to dodge incoming attacks on the field. The battle capabilities of this technique are far more diverse than that of the other techniques. This is mainly due to fighting being the main purpose of pro-bending. Korra has been seen fighting outside the ring effectively, implementing her pro-bending style waterbending against a variety of opponents. Weaknesses. External water source. A waterbender gains a significant advantage or disadvantage over other benders depending on the amount of water in the vicinity. Enemies are able to take advantage of this by driving them away from water sources. As a result, traveling waterbenders often carry a water skin with them at all times. Master waterbenders are able to extract water from plants, ultimately killing the plants and even condense water vapor out of thin air. Binding. Waterbending is almost entirely dependent on the movement of the bender's arms, quite the opposite of earthbending, which mostly uses the lower body. This leaves the waterbender vulnerable when he or she is bound at the hands or has had the flow of chi blocked in the arms. Waterbending can be performed with the lower body, such as when Katara anchored her feet in ice during her fight against Master Paku, or when she created a piece of ice to use as a surfboard when fighting a giant sea serpent. Another lower body technique is outlined on the waterbending scroll stolen by Katara, from which both she and Aang learned a technique named the Water Whip. However, Katara used her feet when she fought the guard earthbenders in the royal palace, performing a larger-than-normal water whip. Hama also briefly tells Katara how in the Fire Nation prison guards bound the waterbenders' arms each time they were given water to drink, emphasizing their helplessness. Lunar Eclipse. Another waterbending weakness is its dependence on the moon. Although waterbenders gain power from the moon, With waterbending at its zenith during full moons, the moon's absence during a lunar eclipse results in a complete loss of waterbending ability. Emotional state. A waterbender's power comes from the internal life energy chi. Due to this, a waterbender's power is connected to his or her present emotional state. If an inexperienced waterbender were to lose his or her temper, their waterbending force is intensified, but in turn control is lost. This was demonstrated by Katara when she lost her temper against Sokka and inadvertently cracked an iceberg. Although this has the potential to be quite dangerous in a waterbender with little to no training, it also serves as a boon to a bender with proper training and experience, as well as balance over his or her emotions. Lightning. Impure water is a natural conductor of electricity. Considering how many waterbending techniques involve a physical connection to water itself, the bender is left vulnerable to a lightning strike. Mako was able to exploit this weakness and defeat Minghua. Overcoming weakness. Some of the standard waterbending weaknesses can be overcome by skilled waterbending masters. In environments without water, a master can pull water particles out of the clouds, air, and even out of living organisms such as plants and trees. The drawback is that if water is removed from a living organism, it will wither and die. Water can also be obtained from a master's own body if need be, from sweat or saliva. The amount of water able to be removed from the air will vary depending on weather conditions. As only a small proportion of the planet's atmosphere contains gaseous water, these amounts would be limited even at the best of times. However, the amount of water can be sufficient to form a usable weapon, such as ice claws, which do not need a lot of water to form. Furthermore, binding does not work on waterbenders who have mastered the ability to waterbend using the lower body and/or without any arms, such as Minghua. Spirituality in waterbending. Like the moon controlling the tides, waterbenders move water using their chi to mimic gravitational pull by choosing how to direct their energy utilizing two jings, which in turn work to push and pull the water that is being controlled. Because of this lunar sympathy, a waterbender's power is stronger at night, at its absolute zenith during a full moon, and lost during a lunar eclipse. A waterbender's power is also enhanced during the rain, for obvious reasons. Furthermore, a waterbender's power is strongest when he or she is situated in colder climates during the winter or near their native polar homelands. Legend further elaborates that Tui, meaning push, the moon spirit, and its symbiotic partner La, meaning pull, the ocean spirit, gave up their immortality to be part of the mortal world. In fact, these spirits exist in the physical forms of two koi fish eternally circling one another in a pond, in the highly spiritual oasis in the capital city of the Northern Water Tribe. The push and pull relationship between the moon's gravity and the water's inertia is represented by yin and yang. The moon spirit koi is white, with a black forehead marking, and the ocean spirit koi is black, with a white forehead marking, mimicking the two primal forces. Without the equilibrium of these two spiritual aspects, waterbenders lose their powers. This was illustrated when Tui's mortal form was killed by Admiral Zhao during the Fire Nation's siege of the Northern Water Tribe. The moon disappeared from the sky, the balance of the world was upset, and the waterbenders defending the North Pole were rendered powerless. The Fire Nation's invading fleet was subsequently defeated when the Avatar Aang acted as a literal avatar of law and combined to form a gigantic water creature that swept the Fire Nation forces out to sea. Balance was restored when Princess Yue, who had received a part of Tui's life force at birth to prevent her immediate death, returned that force and sacrificed herself so that Tui might live. Waterbending emphasizes symbiosis, acting in concert with one's environment and guiding it, rather than avoiding, controlling, or working against it. In the Foggy Swamp Tribe, waterbenders were shown to be especially attuned to the environment, as one of its members, Hu, was able to achieve enlightenment by meditating under a tree in the heart of the swamp, and connecting with it the same way it is connected with the rest of the swamp, as it is a superior organism. Weapons. The only known times a weapon has been used with waterbending was when Avatar Kyoshi used her fans to create a wave, and when Aang used his staff to freeze water. However, many waterbenders carry water skins of various sizes to provide them with a source of water in places where it is scarce, such as deserts and urban locations. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe.
Alright, well, that's not just the one we're listening to. We're going to listen to the other one. There we go. And luckily for us, he's there.
The history of bloodbending. Bloodbending is a sub-skill of waterbending that allows an extremely advanced waterbender to take hold of and manipulate fluids within an organism's body, allowing the bender to move the person's muscles. This technique is referred to as the darkest, most powerful, and most feared of all bending techniques, and it is the only art known to endanger the user's mental state. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the history of bloodbending. Before we begin, we publish new content every week, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Discovery. After being captured during one of the Fire Nation raids aimed at weakening the Southern Water Tribe, Hama, along with her fellow waterbenders, was sent to a maximum security prison in the Fire Nation, designed specifically to hold benders of her kind. There, the guards were cautious of providing prisoners with any form of bendable substance that they could utilize in making a reprisal, going so far as to chain the limbs of the prisoners before they were allowed to drink, and using cruel retribution at any sign of resistance. Despite the helplessness she faced while imprisoned, Hama was able to feel the enrichment provided to her by the full moon. She began to devise a plan that would lead to her escape and eventually realized that the elephant rats constantly scurrying around the bottom of her cage were filled with bendable water. Upon the arrival of the next full moon, Hama attempted to take hold of the fluids within one of the creatures and she succeeded, successfully performing bloodbending for the first time. In the following months, enhanced by the full moon, she continued to develop the technique, mastering it to a point at which she could effectively control the movement of an entire horde of rats. During the next full moon, Hama used bloodbending to control a passing guard, forcing him to open her cage and allow her to escape. Hama walked free for the first time in many years and eventually settled in a village near the outskirts of the Fire Nation archipelago. Hama. While imprisoned, Hama developed a deep hatred for the Fire Nation, and she vowed to take revenge at every instance possible. She created a makeshift prison underneath a mountain and formulated a plan where she would control unsuspecting Fire Nation villagers and lead them to the prison during a full moon. She used this technique and eventually imprisoned the owner of a quaint little inn. Hama became the inn's proprietor and was able to repress accusations of being the one responsible for the disappearances by disguising herself as a sweet old innkeeper. During one of those nights, she planned to imprison an old man, Ding. The plan was initially successful, and Ding felt helpless as he was possessed by an unknown force. He was slowly led to the top of the mountain, but before he could be imprisoned inside a cave, the sun began to rise and the power that Hama held over him quickly faded. Regaining control of his body, Ding sprinted away from the scene. He remained the only villager to ever avoid being captured by the bloodbender. Katara. During the summer of 100 AG, Team Avatar decided to camp near a Fire Nation village. However, Hama overheard them telling horror stories and deducted from Katara's story about Nini that they were from the Southern Water Tribe and offered the group a place in her inn. Upon discovering an old whale-tooth comb in Hama's attic, she revealed herself to be a waterbender from the Southern Water Tribe and proposed to teach Katara some original Southern Tribe waterbending techniques so that she could pass on the knowledge of the Southern customs before her death, to which Katara happily agreed. Katara spent the next day learning various techniques from Hama, such as bending moisture from the air and water from within plants, including fire lilies when no bodies of water were present. Hama told Katara that she would teach her the ultimate waterbending technique at night during the full moon, when their powers were at their peak. Katara was hesitant, claiming that villagers had been disappearing during the full moon, though Hama seemed unaffected, stating that two master waterbenders under a full moon had nothing to worry about. That night, Hama took Katara to the forest where she explained her imprisonment and discovery of bloodbending. Katara was horrified and refused to learn the art when Hama urged her. This angered Hama, who used bloodbending to control Katara. The young waterbender pleaded for mercy, but Hama refused to release her. Feeling the power of the moon enforce her waterbending as well, Katara honed her energy and broke free, stating that her own bending was more powerful than Hama's. The two began to duel and Katara almost immediately took the upper hand. Having discovered the truth about Hama from the villagers she imprisoned deep within the mountain, Sokka and Aang arrived soon afterward to aid Katara and told Hama to surrender since she was clearly outnumbered. Hama refused and used bloodbending to control them. Like a puppet master, she used them to attack Katara, though the young waterbender managed to avoid being hit. Adopting a different approach, Hama maneuvered Aang toward Sokka, who had raised his sword. Katara, in an attempt to save Aang, used bloodbending to stop her, effectively breaking Hama's hold on the boys. She released the elder following the arrival of Toph and the freed villagers, who escorted Hama away from the scene. Now apprehended, Hama congratulated Katara on becoming a bloodbender, causing the young waterbender to break down into tears. Sometime later, when Zuko and Katara went to search for the man who killed Katara's mother, Katara, overwhelmed by rage and grief, used bloodbending to subdue the Southern Raiders commander despite her moral objections against using the dark art. Yakone. Following the end of the 100-Year War, knowledge regarding bloodbending became widespread, and with Katara's involvement, the United Republic of Nations outlawed the bending art sometime before 128 AG. Regardless, a man named Yakone had the unique ability to use bloodbending without the need of a full moon, and used this skill to rule Republic City from its rotten underbelly, becoming the city's most notorious criminal malefactor in a matter of years. Following many acquittals in his favor, since it was considered impossible for one to bloodbend without the full moon, Yakone was eventually tried and arrested for multiple counts of bloodbending, for which the United Republic Council found him guilty. As he was condemned to life in prison, Yakone subdued the entire courtroom by using psychic bloodbending, rendering every individual unconscious before he escaped. Avatar Aang, who was also rendered unconscious by Yakone's bloodbending, roused himself by entering the Avatar state and gave chase to the convict. Forced to defend himself, Yakone took hold of Aang with bloodbending once more with lethal intent, but the Avatar broke free after entering the Avatar state a second time and trapped Yakone in an earth cone. With the criminal unable to move, Aang removed his bending, ending his reign as the head of Republic City's criminal empire. Noatak and Tarlok. At some point, Yakone managed to escape successfully and fled from Republic City to the Northern Water Tribe, surgically altering his appearance to conceal his true identity. There, he met and fell in love with a local woman, whom he later married. The two went on to raise two sons, Noatak and Tarlok, both of whom were waterbenders. Yakone, fueled by hatred for the Avatar for stripping him of his bending abilities, began training his sons in the art of bloodbending through frequent hunting trips. With time, the two waterbenders became increasingly proficient in the art, eventually learning to use bloodbending without the need of a full moon. Noatak exhibited prodigious skill in the art form and mastered Yakone's psychic bloodbending technique by the age of 14. In order to push their abilities to their peaks, Yakone forced both of his sons to bloodbend one another. Although Noatak willingly complied with his father's orders and bloodbent his younger brother into submission, Tarlok refused to do the same, repulsed by the idea of controlling his brother and making him feel helpless. Yakone was infuriated, making a move to harm Tarlok before he was stopped by Noatak, who immobilized him with bloodbending. Noatak asked Tarlok to run away with him and begin life anew, but the younger refused, prompting Noatak to leave into the wilderness by himself. Sometime later, Noatak discovered how to use bloodbending to block off chi paths and thus disable a person's bending ability permanently. Tarlok. Though Yakone no longer trained him following Noatak's presumed death, Tarlok ended up following in his father's footsteps and taking over Republic City, doing so from a political standpoint by becoming a councilman. In 170 AG, Tarlok revealed his true identity as a bloodbender during an altercation with Avatar Korra in City Hall, using the art to subdue her before she could finish him off with fire blasts. Tarlok knocked Korra out and imprisoned her in a cabin outside of Republic City, covering his tracks by attributing the abduction to an equalist attack. However, his lies about Korra's disappearance were uncovered by Team Avatar, Lin Beifong, and Tenzin, forcing him to use his bloodbending abilities once again to evade arrest. Shortly after fleeing Republic City, Tarlok was confronted by Noatak in the disguise of Amon, who stated that it was time that Tarlok was equalized. Declaring that the Equalists had not faced a bender like him, Tarlok proceeded to use bloodbending to immobilize his assailants, subduing all but Amon himself, much to his surprise. Only slightly affected by Tarlok's hold, Amon made his way toward Tarlok before removing his bending. Shortly after, Tarlok recognized the sensation he felt as Noatak's bloodbending hold and realized that Amon was none other than his brother. During Korra and Mako's mission to find and confront Amon, the two ran into Tarlok, who was locked in an attic on Air Temple Island due to his knowledge of Amon's identity. Tarlok proceeded to reveal that Amon was his brother and suggested that he somehow blocked bending through the use of bloodbending. This ability helped him become the leader of the anti-bending revolution, as he claimed that the spirits granted him with the special ability to take bending away. Amon. Planning to expose Amon and undermine his revolution, Korra and Mako infiltrated Amon's rally at the pro-bending arena, where Amon announced that he would rid the world of airbending forever, revealing he had captured Tenzin's family. Korra and Mako used firebending to free the airbenders and opted to stay behind to create a diversion while Tenzin and his family escaped. Korra hid behind a table in an abandoned gym, where she was pulled out from hiding by Amon's bloodbending. As she was suspended in midair, Mako emerged and attacked, but was quickly overpowered by Amon's bloodbending as well. Finally, having subdued the Avatar, Amon removed her bending. Unknown to Amon, the lieutenant had followed his leader and witnessed his bloodbending. Branding Amon to be a traitor, the lieutenant attacked but was stopped by bloodbending. Amon told the lieutenant that he had served him well before launching him into a pile of timber. The interruption dealt with, he walked past the now weakened Korra to approach Mako and started to bloodbend the firebender into position, but Mako managed to point his fingers toward Amon and fired a lightning attack that electrocuted the Equalist leader and hurled him away, allowing Mako to take Korra into his arms before fleeing out into the corridor. Shortly after, Mako was forced to stop again by Amon, who caught up to them. Amon bloodbent the firebender, slamming him against the ceiling, the floor, and the two walls on his sides, before bloodbending him into position, stating that it was almost a shame to take away the bending of someone so talented. Korra's desperation for Mako to avoid suffering the same fate, in tandem with a strong desire to protect him, allowed her to break through her spiritual block and perform airbending. She began to attack Amon with consecutive air punches, forcing him back to the window at the end of the corridor. Amon retaliated and used bloodbending to subdue Korra, but she was able to resist his hold, launching a powerful air kick toward Amon, blasting him out the window and into the sea. After his instinctive use of waterbending exposed him as a bender, Amon fled into exile with his brother, only for a repentant Tarlok to detonate the boat they were on, killing them both and leaving Katara as the last living person known to be capable of bloodbending. Did you enjoy our video?
I don't see why that's a bad thing. But anyway, yeah, that's what Naruto is. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna mix Avatar into this. So pretty much, in this one, Naruto knows bloodbending. How? Well, he learned it from demons, is the best way of saying it. I mean, I can't think of any other reason. So pretty much, after Naruto learned how to use bloodbending, he also learned waterbending. I forgot to mention that. He learned both bloodbending and waterbending, which is extremely noticeable. Now, Naruto is a little bit more mastered at the bloodbending, considering that he always used bending as his way. But in this one, he can actually use it for a more moisture air. And he actually learned how to get blood out of people by literally killing them and using their blood. Due to him not using chakra, which I admit, chakra is not that powerful, and sure, he cannot use the Rasengan, but at least he's still powerful. How is he powerful now? Well, we start off with Naruto at the age of 15. Now, I think that I will give Naruto an animal. What type of animal? I'm gonna say a bear owl. Well, no, actually no, I'll just give him a regular bear. Or probably like a normal bear that would ride on. So Naruto pretty much learning how to bend, but not by his bear. Oh no, he doesn't do that to his bear. But unfortunately the bear doesn't live long because everyone killed it. Because, well, they thought he was a threat. Stupid ninjas. What a bunch of assholes. Like, really? Like, you can imagine Naruto just sitting there despair. Now, everyone didn't really know much about Naruto, but we now start off with Naruto at night. Right, where the moon is full. So pretty much this is when Naruto goes to them and just looks at them. This is when he hears, "Hey Naruto, we're going to the bar, you wanna come?" Naruto looks at them. Naruto? You okay? This is when pretty much the ninja's being bounded by Naruto. Naruto, what are you doing? This is when Naruto starts creating a fist, and the bone and the water pressure from the body is starting to break and snapping the bone. To the point where you just hear screams from the guy, and next thing you know, you hear a splash. All you see is a little ball. Oh, man, I didn't realize that must have hurt. But mostly it was just that. This is when pretty much some ninjas saw that. What the hell are you? This is when Naruto jumps at the guy and literally grabs him by the face and start literally, somehow freezing him in the place. Another ninja attacks and pretty much Naruto grabs that guy by the throat and starts boiling him from the inside. Yes, I thought, yes, I know that probably won't work considering that he's not a firebender, but if you really think about it, it makes sense. And its bloodbender has sugar. My blood has sugar, meaning it can easily boil over. So I figured I might as well try that little stunt, seeing how that would work. And I say it's working quite well, because I actually use blood bending. May not sound outright, but come on, I'm the god of chaos, not the god of blood. I mean, come on, you guys shouldn't even be surprised that I know blood bending. It's a common art that every demon uses. No, really, I kid you not, every demon uses blood bending. Hey, don't believe me? Ask the 4 horsemen. No, wait, the 4 horsemen are fallen angels. Never mind. And so, yeah. So pretty much Bakugo. Not Bakugo. I'm so used to doing My Hero Academia. Whoopsie. Now you're probably wondering which avatar am I going to do? The Legend of Korra? Or Avatar, like The Last Airbender? Well, I'm going to do The Last Airbender. Why The Last Airbender? Because technically it takes after Naruto, because they did actually have blimps back then. And plus their modern time is the same as the others. So you can imagine that. Mind you, this is the aftermath of everything that happened. And chakra was a rare thing to learn. Bending became more of a common thing considering that. So Naruto pretty much walking towards there. Mind you, Naruto also used a type of weapon when he's using waterbending. I don't particularly remember the weapon's name. Guan Yu used the blade. Like I said, I don't remember. But then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make Naruto wield a trident. Sounds fair, considering, well, Poseidon. And I know what you're all thinking. That makes no sense. Then you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, because there's actually, because Poseidon uses it, and I thought it was actually kind of funny. I mean, it's actually kind of a good idea. But I could not, like I said, I cannot remember the weapon that Guan Yu used from the Wulin, the Wulin faction. I don't remember his weapon. But at fucking all, it's a difficult weapon to master. But I figured it'd be a good idea to use, but oh well, we'll stick with the trident for now. So Naruto pretty much starts walking towards the place. Like I said, he is becoming a stone cold killer. And everyone tries to fight him, but they either get blown up by pressures of water into their system. Yes, Naruto has done that. And all the water, all the blood all around the place is not really helping their fight either. They didn't even turn them into blood ice, which I say is kind of cool. He even pulled us. This is when we get to Naruto again. Now Naruto is now going against Kiba. Now Kiba's trying his best, but well, blood bending overpowers anyone really, and literally just forced the blood to snap his neck. And then he goes to Hinata. Hinata tries to persuade him, but Naruto did was just freeze her over and pretty much froze her, which I say is the quickest death I've ever done in my history of life. Hey, let's admit it, I've done worse. And if anyone says, oh, you're a softie, I'm gonna fucking kill you. The reason I am not killing Hinata is because, well, she's actually the least fucking annoying one. That and also, this is when Naruto never really liked her. And you already know why. He's gay. You should not be surprised. And I read the comments, will I ever do a straight Naruto what if? Well, there's the consequences of that. I will do one once a month. And if I don't do it, that means I won't do a Deku what if that's straight. Yep, that's right. There's the but sign. If I do one straight what if, the rest are cancelled. Sorry, but get over it. Let's admit it. You all knew that was coming. So pretty much with Deku, I'm like, yeah. Sorry guys, I'm so used to doing Deku what ifs. We all know that. So Naruto, my apologies, Naruto pretty much moved on and pretty much just gave up and pretty much went to the last known location, aka Tsunade. Yes, Tsunade is, like I said, this is the aftermath of everything. But before the fact of, well, Naruto and all that. So the ones who really defeated everyone was Sasuke and Sakura, unfortunately. Yes, I could already just hear the comments saying, so Naruto, had nothing to do with it? Nope. The Jinchuriki, Danzo didn't even pull the fricking, trying to control the fricking, Jinchuriki. Oh no. They got help from the fish spirits, so you can imagine that. And I'm going to say the fox is a similarity of Earth as well, considering, well, it's a... Actually, no, Yeah, no, it's more of a anything really. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's an Earth, because the Jinchurikis are fucking confusing. So after literally doing that, Naruto gets to the Hokage office. Mind you, Sakura is the Hokage. So is Sasuke. This is when pretty much they see Naruto, who was drenched in blood. Naruto, what happened? Next, before they could say anything, this is when blood spears pretty much hit Sakura right over the body, causing chunks of flesh, body parts, and even an arm to fall off, and pretty much stabbed in the mouth as well. Before Sasuke could activate his Sharingan, Naruto put a freaking water dome around his neck, around his head, causing him to drown. Sasuke tries everything to get the water out, but unfortunately it works as well as a fucking loopy. It pretty much works as well as a loop. Pretty shit. So pretty much after destroying, this is when Sasuke looks at Naruto with the purest of betrayal. Like he just realized his friend was acting like he gave a shit, but really he didn't. What really happened is that you killed his bear, dumbass. You don't kill someone's pet. It's just rude. Ooh, and that's coming from me. But yeah, Naruto killed. This is when pretty much Sasuke drowned his last, and he died from the purest of drowning. Naruto just standing there now walks off and kills the other chakra villages. The rumors of the massacre of this villages spread like bloody wildfire. Like seriously, it's beyond a joke. Everyone heard about the Great Massacre. Even the Fire Nation heard, and now they're horrified. Why? Now you're all probably thinking in your head, wait a minute, that's the Fire Tribe. Why the fuck would they be scared of something like that? Well, someone managed to kill the entire Chakra tribe. Even Killer Bee died. So you can imagine how powerful this guy is. And the worst part, in their mind, no one knows who did it, so they're fucking horrified. So Naruto went north to pretty much establish a new kingdom called the Ice Kingdom. No, mostly around Norska. Yep, this is a Warhammer 40k. This is a Warhammer 40k fantasy version of Norska. Now, the reason I'm not doing full Warhammer, the Empire, the chapters, and all that, because they're fucking OP in a Naruto universe. Let's face it, Chakra won't do shit to them. I know, I had one time, I thought what would happen, but then I calculated it. Chakra is just all it's gonna do is just piss them off because you ruin their paint. That's how weak Chakra is, considering that they literally use bending. And everyone knows that. Don't even try to deny it. You deny it, you're just gonna be an idiot. So Sasuke, pretty much being dead, Naruto left and pretty much went to the tribe of making the first ever Water Kingdom. I know the North Pole is technically a kingdom, but still, it was a better kingdom than the others. So pretty much after Naruto, literally took care of that. This is when Naruto actually settled down. And this is when also Naruto just was there. Like seriously, that's all. So pretty much after literally creating his kingdom with Vikings, yes, Vikings exist. Don't try to deny it. He even taught them how to use his style of bending, which was all over the damn place, really. Naruto learned quite well. He still used he changed the trident to a sword. No, he still kept the trident. I'm not gonna lie. He kept the trident. Mostly because it was a good weapon. And it made him look like a badass. So pretty much after fighting off a Fire Kingdom, because they heard that the Fire Kingdom was attacking waterbending tribes, the waterbenders in the Avatar, in his people, they feared the Ice Kingdom and changed it to the Demon Clan. Yep, Naruto created his clan called the Norskins and clans, which were pretty brutal because they had saber-toothed bears, a lot of animals. Almost. Like, it was not even funny. They even used They even use combat from water animals. They use polar bear dogs as well, but those polar bear dogs are armored to the teeth. They use, like I said, they do not hesitation to use any type of animal at their disposal. They even put water bombs on wolves to get an advantage. Which is kind of fucked up, but still. No, I say it's fair game. And also, they ride animals into battle by shooting arrows. Yes, I'm pulling also a mongrel moment. But don't judge me. I mean, the mongrels are pretty much a faction you do not want to piss off. Believe me, I'm surprised that the Mongol kingdom even lost to Russia. I'm not gonna lie. Hey. Oh well, back to the news. Anyway, Naruto pretty much has ruled. Now, their water tribe was the only sanctuary left that was not attacked by the freaking people. Oh, you fucking gladiator prick. Now, Naruto pretty much did what you would usually expect from Naruto. He did not give a fuck. Anywho, I can't believe I died from a fucking whore. Pretty much Naruto ruled that kingdom with a dangerous fist. When I mean dangerous, when I say dangerous is an understatement. He rules it with a bloody axe. He rules with fear. He rules by hatred. He literally uses people's emotion to force them to fight. Like, that's how big of a prick he is. That's not a wanking joke either. Now Naruto, we now get to Naruto, who's sitting upon his throne. Now Naruto has slaves where he's from, mostly firebender slaves. But this is when pretty much one of his spies came to him, while one of his slaves were giving him a good shandy. Speak. I got reports from one of the fire soldiers. They told us that the Avatar has returned. Avatar? Yes. What is this Avatar? Or who is he? Don't know, sir. He attacked someone named Prince Zuko. Alright. So this Prince Zuko, what can you tell me about him? He's just a kid. Nothing big. Besides his father burning his face, that's it. Sounds like his father is weak. He has a wise man, though. His name is Iroh. Iroh, huh? I guess anything is possible. So, yes. So pretty much when Naruto got back to, this is when the guy got done, pretty much did it. Okay, slave, you can go now. Then is when the slave goes. Anyway, is that all, sir? I mean, you can now go now, soldier. Yes, sir. And that's when he runs off. Learn something new. Avatar, huh? Sounds weak. And a problem. To my kingdom. With pretty much Zuko. Oh. Why don't Prince Zuko... the usual thing. This is when Naruto... just sat down. This is when we get to Aang. I decided to do that. This one, Aang says, so where do you think we can learn waterbending? Aang, well, not much, really. Waterbenders are not that much around. So there's no chance. There's one. No, absolutely not. That's the last place we want to go to. What do you mean? There's a freaking tribe. There's a kingdom not far from here called the Norsking tribe. Right? But they're very dangerous. Even the Fire Nation fears them. Why? It's their leader. They call him Naruto, the bane of humanity. With his trident, he's literally some people call him a bloodbender. He's like us, a waterbender, but he's different. He's crazy, a psycho. Shows little careness around people. Even the Fire Nation was forced to sign a treaty with that man because he killed a bunch of people. I also heard that he's worse than anyone. Anyone's really. With Prince Zuko, you think that they would help? I doubt it. This avatar would never go to the freaking bane of humanity. The guy is completely wacko. More evil than your sister. And that is saying something. Agreed, Uncle. We just gotta be careful. Don't have to tell me twice. But we're gonna have to go there. What? Zuko, are you out of your mind? We can't go to the Norsking kingdom. We'll get shredded. Not if we die not if we die by their traps. Well, sometimes I wonder why I go. You coming, Uncle? Yes. By the way, I forgot to mention one thing. Prince Zuko gives little shit about his honor. He gave that shit up a long time ago. He cares less about his honor and more about just traveling the world. And when he got heard about the Avatar, he's like, oh, okay. And yeah, he does not give a shit. But this is when Aang got to his ship. And pretty much he just seen him. You're just a kid. Hey, by the way, we get to that part now. Wait, you're just a kid. Yeah, well, you're an edgelord teenager. Looks can be deceiving. And you two must be from the Water Nation. Truthfully, this one they say, you're here to capture us? Opposite, actually. I came for a proposal. Well, you see, we're going to have bigger problems. The Norskin tribe. And Aang needs to learn all the elements, right? Yeah, I need to learn all the elements. I could teach... Uncle Iroh can teach you firebending. Huh. Okay, but why would you help us? Aren't you with the Fire Nation? Meh. I'm friends with the Fire Nation, but I don't care about them. Their business is theirs. I just like traveling. Besides, I don't see the real reason why I'm even giving a shit about that. I just want to be exploring the world, and with my uncle. Oh, Uncle Iroh's approval. I bet Ken and Uncle Iroh is thinking, I wish he was like this back then. I wish my Zuko was like this. This is when Zuko says, so, what do you need to know? Oh. I don't know any firebending. Huh. Well, beginners. Alright, Iroh. Well, you train him. But try not to teach him don't teach him the more lethal ones. Try studying him further with the offense than with the defense than the offense, okay? Understood. And also, would you two like some tea? Sure. This is when the water tribe goes in. So, tea. Why were you actually going this way? This is Norskin territory. The fire tribe is going to be the biggest problem among all kingdoms, even his. The fire tribe was forced to sign a peace treaty with the Norskin kingdom. Seriously? You don't know the massacre? They shake their head. I guess it's time for a story, but I can't tell one without music. Is that okay? Sure. Hey, can you get it of course, sir. Your men don't seem to be your men don't seem to be having a problem with this. So let's say some of them know who's good and who's bad. And also Uncle Ryro has wisdom. In his voice. So pretty much this is when we get to a flashback of the hunt of the war between their nations. We start with Naruto pretty much holding the line. Ready! Fire! Water cannons start shooting out, and the tanks rolling in are pretty much getting demolished. Hounds! This is when the hounds were sent in to destroy the rest of the fleet. This is when the fire tries to shoot them, but the wolves are just moving in. And this is when Naruto raises his trident, and the wolves just start to explode the ice, killing anyone near them. Those who are leading the charge is Azula, and he sees the ruthlessness of this guy's battle strategy. You see polar bear dogs riding in with men with arrows and start shooting at the enemy. Even giant animal will charge in. This is when they say, "For our war!" This is when the main soldiers run in and pretty much start attacking. Bloodbenders ensue along with waterbenders. Azula sees the horrifying experience. And next thing you know, Azula charges in to pretty much aid them. But Naruto doesn't care. One firebender tries to attack him, but pretty much uses his trident and pretty much slices, stab, and kick, and literally grabs one guy's head and snaps it like a twig. This is when they hear, So you are the Norskin king. And who are you, little puppy? I am Azula, and I am your death. Bah! A weak little firebender who can barely spark a flame, like a weak, pathetic baby like you. Ha! You have a better chance killing your own mother, or if she ever loved you. And Azula's eyes furied. Oh, touched a nerve, didn't I? No wonder your father's a failure then. Shut up! This is when Azula shoots fire, but Naruto rises ice and pretty much just blocks it. This is when Naruto starts using blood bending on her. This is when Naruto forces her to come to him. Such a pretty face. This is when Naruto brings out a freaking knife. I'm going to enjoy this. And you can't do anything about it. This is when she looks around to see her men being killed. I'm going to enjoy every last bit. So, this is gonna be fun. Anyway, pause. Okay, I'm back. Now, pretty much this is when we see Azula chained up and literally just there. You're never gonna get away with this. Oh, but I am. Because you see, this is when he draws out some torture tools. There's one thing about a woman's mind that fascinates me. It's your pain tolerance. You women have to go through giving birth, which might be extremely painful. So, I am gonna torture you really, really badly. This is when Naruto towers over him, and all you hear from Azula is, you just hear that echoing through the kingdom. And pretty much, next thing you know, Azula looked so tortured, so broken. When the Naruto was done with him, he pretty much showed it to the Fire Lord who was coming to get his daughter. All he saw was horror. And his men raping his daughter. And Naruto's men raping his daughter. So pretty much you can imagine that. Her legs are broken. Her hands, her fingers have been cut off. Skin has been horribly removed. And her eyes are gone. So pretty much, this is when we end the story. And that's how my sister pretty much was traumatized for the rest of her life. Zuko! I don't remember the siblings' names, but they just go, what the fuck? Look, even Uncle Aang heard that, and he's just horrified. Yup. Oh, that's what happened. Damn. Remind me not to piss off the Norse Kingdom. Wise move, Avatar. Now, let us continue your training. By the way, everything else in the Avatar world goes like in canon. They do find Toph, they do all that, but this is when by the way, this is when we get to Naruto and Aang pretty much, well, walking in the Earth Kingdom. And bossing Zay. And minding their own business. Yes. By the way, there are bisons there too. They ain't pulling that stunt. But Zuko pretty much stopped traveling with them because, well, he didn't need to travel with them anymore. And pretty much opened the tea shop with Uncle Iroh. Oh. But with these well, we get to Naruto. Now, Naruto is preparing his forces for battle. And pretty much getting ready for the great war between the nations. Naruto smiles evilly. But with Azula pretty much remembering all the tortures, all the fingers that's been cut off, all the pain and all the suffering that has been inflicted upon Azula. All you hear is just her scream, and pretty much it's now just starting to tear up. You're probably thinking, how is she tearing up? Well, she's not blind. She's blind only, well, what am I saying? She is blind, but only on the left side of her eye because it was ripped out by a poker. One of the guards immediately run in and just see Azula traumatized again. This is when the fire guard just comforts her, and she just allows it. The guards even saw this, and all of them are either just pissed or just feel sorry for her. But with Naruto, this is when we get to the Fire Lord Ozai, right? And he is preparing war against the Norse Kingdom. This one pretty much we hear this. This one we get to see one of the Fire Lord spies walk in and kneels. Did you find him? Yes, sir. We found the prince. And he's in the Earth Kingdom, I'm afraid. He's with Iroh. Oh, he opened up the shop. I see. I guess we can't call upon him for aid. I suppose. I would not recommend it, sir. I don't think he'll come to our aid. Not anytime soon. I understand. Alright. This is when Naruto just starts walking off. This is when we get to Naruto. Oh. Shit. I guess good things always come to an end. But with this guy, it's like dealing with a savage. What's next? Are you okay? I'm dealing with savage, pretty much people who attempted to kill, so no, I'm not. Like dealing with a friggin' insane person. It's not a fun thing. It's a friggin' massacre. Well, now we have to get ready. Again. After Naruto gets there. Naruto run. This is when we get to Naruto. This is when we get to Naruto, who's now just making his forces pretty much conquer the rest of his land. And with Aang, who's pretty much hearing, "Extra, extra, read all about it. The Norse King tribe declares war on every kingdom. We are doomed to pretty much fall." Well, wow, the Earth Kingdom support pretty much submitted pretty quickly. Yeah, it's like they stopped. It's like they gave up. This one Toph says, "So who is this Norskin anyway? I'm surprised you don't know about it." Hey Toph? Oh yeah, you've been isolated. They pretty much explain what Naruto is. Sounds like a monster to me. He is. There's no shame in this guy. Like, he literally does not care. Not one bit. It's like dealing with an emotionless monster. Even the water tribe from the North Pole fear him. And I bet that's where he's going. Well, we better get to the Water Nation before he does. Agreed. With Naruto, this one pretty much Naruto, we get to the rest of the remaining tribes, and they are either dead or join their cause. With Naruto, who's pretty much just seeing the sheer brutality of everything and everyone around him, Naruto moves forward and pretty much obtains the rest of the water tribes, and they just straight up charge forward. Now, pretty much, Aang managed to get to the North Pole so they can learn waterbending. The attack pretty much went as you expected, lightning cannon. So pretty much the North Pole was spared. At least they thought. With Naruto, who's pretty much got to the water state, the Water Kingdom. Mind you, they just survived it. The attack of fighting against the Fire Nation. And they pretty much start using their waterbending to forcefully open the doors and letting their men through. Now, the water warriors try their best, but Naruto's men are far more savage and brutal. Well, and their waterbending is far more advanced, so you can imagine the brutality. This one, Naruto goes against their elite, the king, and he tries everything in his power to stop Naruto, but bloodbending rules over them all. Well, and all he did was just force the body of water to be forcefully pushed inside the guy's mouth, and pretty much forced to pretty much blow up like a balloon and just pop up from the stomach, leaving guts and blood everywhere. They're gore to feast for a week. The men that he has were either raping people or killing them. And even the animals started doing the same thing. But they mostly eat. Back to Naruto, who's pretty much getting to the kingdom, and he sees the place. Perfect. This will be a perfect slave camp, eh, boys? They roar in victory. The victory is pretty much short. This one, the victory lasts quite some time, considering the sheer brutality it was. But pretty much after that, Naruto... Something new. This is when they say, this is when pretty much, when they get there, this is when they see Aang. And Aang, this is when they hear from one of the nations, and around the random place, I'm not going to say where, there's just some random town, they hear, extra, extra, we have unfortunate news. The nation of fire has been destroyed. The North Pole has been destroyed, but by the Norskins. So pretty much the last note on North Pole of the Waterbenders have been destroyed. No. More nation. The Water Nation is now ruled by... Well, you know, it pretty much went as well as you expect. So pretty much this is when Naruto says, this is when pretty much Aang says, what? Yep. I figured they would. But I thought... What? You thought that they could survive. But let's face it, they can't. They're dead. They always will be. Pretty much saddened that Aang could not save them. What are we gonna do? We can do one thing only. Save this place. That's the only thing we can really do. It's not like we can do anything else. It's great. I guess we're gonna find out what we can do. with Naruto's people who got done destroying them. Well, after that, guess anything's possible. But seriously, how are we gonna just stop him? I'm starting to think that killing him would be the wisest thing to do. Killing him or killing the Avatar and killing like Naruto? Doubt it. We will die. Like, the best thing we can do is pretty much just let him fight. I mean, if you really think about it, I think that's why he hasn't sent his men to search for us. Not yet, anyway. With this one, we pretty much hear a war horn going off. Huh? What's that? This one they see Naruto's men start going in. And they start dragging people out, slaughtering women, children, you name it. Aang sees this and pretty much tries to stop them, but due to bloodbending, he cannot. And he's been thrown around like a rag doll. Oh, Appa attempts to attack them, but they're elephants, or war mammoths, if you think about it, pretty much charge in and also fight off Appa. The fight gets brutal. Well, this is the best thing they say. We gotta go, Aang, but we don't stand a chance. And it's... And this one, pretty much, Izuku flies off. He ain't dealing with that bullshit. But with Aang, who just felt pitiful. Aang, we can't win against Naruto's men. They're just too powerful. Well, remember, the Fire Nation tried to conquer them. Well, how can we do? Well, Naruto is a pure tactician. He's used to killing people, Aang. The best thing we could do is a peace treaty. That's all we can do. I guess you're right. And pretty much, a full year passed, and the Earth Kingdom has fallen by Naruto's men. But Naruto kept at the people pretty much like it is. Nothing really changed when they conquered the place. He's just a king, but he kept it fair. He kept it right. He's not like Naruto. So pretty much everything went as normal. The guards changed, but that's it. Pretty much, this is when we get to Aang learning more and more. Now, this is when we get to the part of Avatar, Roku, and Aang pretty much fighting it off. But unfortunately for them, Naruto's men was already attacking the Fire Kingdom. Raiding village to village, people to people, slaughtering and killing. Like, they did not stand a chance, especially since the water was like right near the place. With Naruto, who's pretty much attacking the bait. He slaughters them, stabbing, killing, and pretty much the men do too. The women pretty much also starts fighting against. And some children even start fighting, but the men are just pretty much use the mammoths and starts crushing the kids and everything in their path like an egg. The children get their throats slit while the blood gushes around them. Their stomachs are pierced with spears, there's tridents, and even flung. Their faces have been hit by maces and been drowned by hot boiling water and being tarred and feathered and displayed up by everyone to see, while some of them have their guts hanging out and being suffocated by the Naruto's men. And the women suffer their fate as well, of pretty much being mauled, killed, or raped. So same thing with the men. It's happening everywhere. This one pretty much Azula's friends, who is standing in Naruto's way. He looks at them and smirks. The girls pretty much try to fight off, but Naruto, due to him wearing armor, doesn't stand a chance. So the acrobatic girl, she died. No, she doesn't die. She just gets knocked out. The other girl knows when to fight and know when to kneel, so she kneels to Naruto. He smirks. Good, wise decision, slave. And he starts running off. Now, with Naruto, who's walking in, and by the way, only the council was left in charge. This is when the eldest experts firebender get into a fighting position. And they start striking at Naruto. But Naruto, pretty much carrying a barrel with him, uses the water in the barrel, swings it up and stops the fire. This is when he turns them into ice and starts shooting it right at the benders. The benders try their best to hold off the ice, but pretty much they just get impaled and dead. This is when Naruto hears crying. Wait. I know that cry. Azula. She pretty much starts running, trying to attempt to run away. This is when Naruto grabs a whip and pretty much catches her. Where do you think you're going? No, please, I beg you. No more. Oh, Azula, I'm not going to kill you. Oh. I don't kill slaves. And what a slave you'll be, of royal blood. I'm going to enjoy this. So pretty much, this is when Naruto starts walking in. And this is when the fire gave out. And this is when you see the Norskin logo go. It ain't the symbol of the water tribe. Oh no, it's pretty much just logo. I'll show it in the picture, or before you click on the video, you'll see it. Naruto pretty much sitting down. Now, this is when we get that. But before he sent a general to be in charge of the Fire Kingdom. Mostly, I'm going to say someone random. So, let's say one of his top generals. Now, one of these generals, does turn the place into a slave camp. Yeah. And also a training ground. What about Zuko? Well, he sticks to his tea shop, along with Uncle Iroh. He pretty much lives a happily ever after. But, unfortunately, Aang defeated the Fire Lord. And Aang won, along with them. But, unfortunately, this is when they hear... Bravo, gentlemen. Bravo. Naruto. In the flesh. You know, I would congratulate you. But I'm afraid I'm taking that fight, the Phoenix King. No, I beg you, don't let him take me. Look, we won. You can at least, this is one before someone can finish a certain sentence. And the sister pretty much dies. Toph, well, she already dead. Now they see Toph's head that pretty much Naruto's holding. And now you two. Now this is when Naruto pretty much karate chops both the boy and Aang. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember the brother's name. And pretty much karate chopped them right in the neck. I'm gonna enjoy breaking your wills. So yeah, in case you're wondering, this is the bad ending. And this is the villain, the bad guy, IAU. So pretty much, this is when we get to Naruto, back at the Norskin Kingdom. And where is Aang and the Phoenix King and then the rest? They're his pets. And in fact, they're his personal pets. That's enjoying a good rump, if you get my drift. So pretty much, and so the beginning of the Norskin Kingdom grew. All the world knew Naruto as Naruto the Phoenix Killer, the Avatar Breaker, the Water Tribe King, the Slave Bringer. All the names shall be remembered in history. His name will surely be not forgotten. And he will live for quite some time. And that's about it. This has been the one shot of What If Naruto Was a Waterbender? Villain AU, I guess you could say? Hey, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. This has been Uncle Dylan here, God of Chaos, and I will see you in the next vid.